Now, I've recently learnt that young people basically don't know about bubble and squeak. Now, people from other countries might not know about bubble and squeak too. And bubble and squeak is basically an English tradition where back in the old days, the aristocrats and the rich people, they would employ slaves to make their meals and all the rest of it. So they'd either very low paid workers or, back in the early days, slaves. Slaves are sort of not as fashionable anymore. People don't really tend to go that way anymore. But there's still plenty of low paid workers out in the world. Economic slaves. But anyway. And what used to happen is the rich people would get all their dinner served to them and beautiful quality food and whatever. And then instead of throwing out all the food that the rich people don't eat, what the workers used to do is get all the leftovers. And then they'd basically fry it all up and add some egg and often some cheese and some salt and pepper. And then they'd split that, and that would be their food. So it'd basically be a free meal for them. And for us modern people, we're not slaves anymore. That's not fashionable. And we are not generally unpaid workers. But we can use bubble and squeak to reduce waste, because you often look through your fridge, especially after a week's worth of meals, and there's leftovers in there. And then instead of just having a bit of chicken on its own or whatever the leftovers are, you can throw all the leftovers in a pot like this with some rice and some whatever you want to do. Fatten it all out, taste it all up, and you actually make a beautiful meal. Anyway, put a comment on the bottom. Have you heard of bubble and squeak before? Would you make bubble and squeak? It's actually beautiful. You have no idea how nice it is. So there you go, Paul Talbot's famous bubble and squeak. And you don't have to be an English slave to enjoy this meal.